Hey guys, welcome to Brandon's Pilates Life. Before we get started, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe to become a part of the Pilates Life channel. I've got a great workout for you. It's a Cadillac workout. I'm going to call it Cadillac 101 because I'm going to take you through the basics of the Cadillac, but I'm also going to go over the spring settings, the push-through bar setting, the roll-up bar setting. Great for observation, great for doing a workout, knowing how to get through that workout with proper settings. This is for my good friend Autumn. She's an amazing fitness and health guru. Check the link below. She's got incredible workouts, incredible health tips. Unbelievable. It's really cool. You'll love it. So, without further ado, if you're ready to work out, let's move. Okay guys, here we go. First I'm going to go over some of the basics of the Cadillac. So these are kind of factory settings. Typically your mid crossbar here, where your roll-up bar goes, the factory setting is about 22 to the top of the cuff. The factory setting is typically 22 as well on your push-through bar. Yet I and even Bassi headquarters is like to bring that up to 24. So bring this up to about 24. That'll allow you and some of your clients to get a little more or easier access to dorsiflexion when you're doing your footwork. Typically I like to have my leg springs, my L long springs, just right here to the inside of the bar. They're just kind of out of the way. They don't really get in the way. I always keep my roll-up bar right here on the inside of my mid crossbar. My fuzzies are at this end. Most people will keep their handles underneath or on a little rack next to the Cadillac, but I like to just put them right here up on this little wing nut right here. This doesn't adjust much at all, if ever, so that wing nut's a nice little holding place for this. I keep my trapeze on the outside upper portion of the Cadillac. It's a really nice convenient location, but most people will like to keep it underneath in a little box or something. Your blue springs, your blue shorts will be on the inside of the coupler. Couplers will be all the way to the top. Your upper crossbar is all the way back. That's an important one. Make sure when you're done with that upper crossbar, you put it all the way back, because if somebody climbs onto this to make a spring adjustment and that bar is towards the middle, you could hit your head and kink your neck or kink your head. We keep the safety strap to the back side or the outside, and I just hook it up to the top to keep it out of the way, and then the push-through bar lays low. Short red springs, inside couplers at 0 position all the way down to the bottom. If you do happen to have F2s, I absolutely love these. There's some great repertoire you can do with it. Keep those F2s. I like to keep them facing the outside of the machine, okay? And then your foot strap stays kind of away down below. That's kind of a factory setting for me. It's a factory position for everything to be in, very convenient. Again, when you're working on the Cadillac, especially in a studio setting, make sure you put everything back where you found it. It's safe and it allows other instructors to know exactly where to go when doing the work, okay? So here we go. We got a little workout for you. I've got my good friend Rachel here. Hi. Hi. And we're going to have a little workout. We're going to start with a couple roll downs as usual. So feet a couple inches apart. I like to put the feet just about sits bones width apart, right about there. Hands by your side. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, let your spine roll down. Rachel is just doing some ballroom dancing. So I could tell her back extensor is a little overactive. Inhale, exhale, scoop and roll up. Nice softening of the knees as she rolls the lumbar. She brings that middle finger right towards the middle of the thigh and reaches ahead up for a nice elongated postural line. Breathe in. Exhale, roll down. When you're observing the roll down, you want to observe from all sides, from the front, the back. Notice the position of the hands, the position of the shoulders, the position of the head. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, bias towards your toes a little bit, as if you're pushing your there you go, as if you're pushing your pelvis forward as you come up. That little bias forward helps you articulate, get a little deeper rounding in the back. Take a breath in, we'll do one more. Exhale, roll down. I always like to commence my sessions with 3 roll downs, always conclude with 3 roll downs. Great way to start your session. Great way to just calibrate your energy, bringing all your energy into one position, one place. Focuses on concentration and really starts to allow the principles of Pilates to settle in. Awareness, breath, balance, concentration, control. Good, that looks great. So let's go ahead and sit here facing that direction. We're going to do the intermediate warm-up. Again, I've got my mid crossbar set at 22, and the roll-up bar, the RUB, should have the short yellow springs on here. Grab a hold of the outside handles, wrap that thumb around, other way, there you go, and then find that seated C-curve position. Okay, just take the pelvis forward slightly. There you go. Nice alignment. That's the alignment we're looking for to start with. Nice shoulder scapula stabilization. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, you hinge back. Now Rachel has a fairly mobile spine, so she can go into deeper flexion as she goes back, and you don't want that. You want to maintain that C-curve as you hinge back and then articulate that thoracic region at the very end. Inhale to your chest lift position. I saw you. You're getting ready to go. Little deeper forward flexion, little deeper, little deeper. There you go. That's where you want to be, right there. Then exhale out. Good. People with really mobile spine, give me a little bit of energy here. Go ahead and scoot back just a little bit. More. Good. I don't want those springs to slack. We don't want those springs to slack. We want a little bit of tension on those springs with those arms at that horizontal position. Breathe in. Exhale, roll down. There you go. Nicely done. And reach back. Inhale to your chest lift position. Exhale, roll up. I usually cut my repetitions down a little bit when I'm teaching these videos. And a little higher here. A little more. There. Breathe in. Exhale down. But if you want to do some more repetitions in your own personal workout, please feel free to stop the video, do a couple more repetitions, and then hit play and keep coming. We'll go ahead and do one more. Breathe into your C-curve, your chest lift position. A little deeper, a little deeper. There it is. Nice. That was a good one. Did you feel the difference? Yeah. Yes. And on that last one, I don't know if you noticed or not, but she kept the arms a little more horizontal. She rolled down. The previous one, her arms lifted up a little bit. Palms face one another. I just let go of that roll-up bar. It's just in a nice position to stay out of the way, stay out of your workout. Exhale down. Good. I want to make sure my client comes all the way down, and from here, instead of reaching the arms overhead like the regular roll-up, we just drop the hands and drop the head. That way when I take the push-through bar up and out of the way, it's not in danger of hitting her. I'm going to go 2 blue springs, 2 blue springs. My cuffs are at the very top. 2 blue springs, cuffs at the top, which is the heaviest weight. I want to make sure that her shoulders are underneath the bar, so scoot up a little bit. Good, right about there. And grab a hold of the bar. Anytime you are top-loaded, make a note of this. Top-loaded, you want to wrap the thumbs. Thumbs should be wrapped. They should not be around the outside. So we're calling this the little circle of life. You don't want to let go of that bar. Holds on for dear life. As she comes into her chest lift position, spine twist supine. We're going to tabletop the legs one at a time, maintaining that neutral position of the pelvis, maintaining that neutral position of the shoulders and the ribs. And that looks really good, Rachel. Inhale to me. Exhale back to center. I do apologize if you see me limping a little bit. I had a bit of an injury, a bit of an accident earlier today, and I am not feeling great. So if you notice my posture's off a little bit or I'm favoring my left leg, don't worry about it. I'm okay. Inhale, exhale. What I love about this exercise is with your hands here, you can actually use your arms to kind of bias away from the direction you're rotating. So it gives you a little bit of leverage to draw deeper into those obliques. Inhale away from me and exhale back to center. She's doing a really nice job keeping the knees together. You'll notice as she comes to me, these knees stay together, the hips are going with it, the legs are moving as one unit. Exhale back to center. And again, as she goes away from me, watch those knees. Yes, they're just staying locked in together. Just a little bit of variation, but not much at all. And we drop the legs one at a time. Feet are going to be a couple inches apart. Feet are in towards your sits bones. And now we go into mini roll-ups. Take a breath in. Exhale into your chest lift position. Good. Eyes are right about here. Eyes are coming right across from the thighs. It's very important. You want to keep your head in line with that C curve, that chest lift position that you've just created. From here we inhale. As you exhale, eyes still stay on the thighs, and you lift up just to the base of the sacrum. Inhale down just to the base of the scapula, and exhale up, and inhale down. She's doing a really nice job. You've got to watch the shoulder lines. Don't let those shoulders roll up. Don't feel that your shoulder extensors are using or helping you. You can help a little bit, but you want this to come from your abdominals. A lot of people too come down, Rachel, right about there. And go to more neutral pelt. There you go. Do you feel the difference? Yeah. As she's coming up and out, she's cheating a little bit. She's trying to bias to posterior, tuck her tail a little bit. You want to try to maintain that neutral pelvic position. Yes. Do you feel the difference? I don't know if you can see it, but she's shaking a little bit now. Doing a great job keeping those feet nice and stable, knees nice and straight, and come back down. I usually do 15 or 20 repetitions on that, so you can up your reps on that a little bit, those mini roll-ups. Again, make sure those hands are directly crossing the shoulders, about shoulder width apart. We're going to reverse the grip on the left hand, right across from the shoulder. Right hand supports your head just like the chest lift with rotation. You're going to come straight up into your chest lift position. Now, this is tricky. Some people go into lateral flexion, they let the ribs go. All you do is rotate on the axis of the spine, just like chest lift with rotation. And from here, I'm going to give her a little bit of a spot. I just press down a little bit, either on the feet or the knees, and then we can help them get a little deeper into that lift. And exhale. Really good. I don't think I need to spot you on this, do I?
Maybe.
Yeah, I do. So I'm not giving her much help, but if I pulled away, she'd probably lose a little bit of range because her foot's trying to slide out here. We'll just do one more to make 5 repetitions. And down. Rotate back to center, come all the way down, switch sides. I usually do about 8 to 10 of those mini roll-up obliques. Again, if you want to do a little bit more with your own personal workout, go ahead and stop, pause the video, come up, and do some extras. Nice rotation. That's exactly like chest lift with rotation. Don't let the ribs flare open. Don't go into lateral flexion. Just rotate on the axis of the spine, keeping the pelvis neutral, and we come up. Nice range, Rachel. You're biasing slightly to, there you go, slightly into that rib. There you go. Don't let those ribs close. Keep that distance the same. Just hinging up and down, just like you do on the mini roll-ups. Good. You're releasing a little bit too far. You just want to touch and lift. There you go. Do you feel that? And back to center. She's like, yes, and down you go. Go ahead and let go of the bar. I want her to know, your client to know that I've got the bar. I release the bar, make sure that it's nice and safe. We scoot our client all the way up towards the edge, fairly close to the edge here. And we take these springs off. Now, every time I'm doing this by myself, I'm very careful. Every time I'm teaching a client, I say, there's no spring on the bar. Got it?
Got it.
Got it? So don't let go of the bar. I don't want it to bop you in the chest or the head. Grab the bar, thumbs wrap. You like to open your hands a little wider than you should. Nice try. There you go. So shoulder width apart is about there for you. She likes to go a little too wide, so we want about shoulder width apart. Legs together, legs adducted. We inhale to that chest lift position. We exhale up, maintaining forward flexion as we come up until we can't anymore, and then we find that beautiful straight line. Inhale, bend and extend. And as you exhale, you roll down. So, this is Cadillac 101. I want to go over a couple little things that you're going to notice. Don't let go of that bar. I'm going to move you a little bit. Okay? Most people end up starting too far down. If you're too far down, you come into that chest lift position, you start to roll up, you're going to end up at a diagonal line like this. This is not straight up and down. Go ahead and roll back down. So make sure, I'm going to grab this bar and you can push yourself back to where you were. Make sure you adjust the body so when you're in that upright position, you're perpendicular, straight up and down. Bring this hand in a little bit. It's okay. Inhale to your chest lift position. A little deeper. There. That's it. Now exhale up. And she's got nice shoulder flexibility, so we get that nice up and down position. We inhale, bend. We're externally rotating these elbows, the shoulders basically, so the elbows are wide. Extend and exhale down. Okay? One of the most common things I do is people will bend and extend on a whole breath pattern. That bend and extend is one inhale. Inhale, chest lift. Exhale, roll up. Inhale, bend and extend. Exhale, roll down. Nice. Let's do one more. Inhale to your chest lift position. Nice adduction on the inner thighs. Exhale up. If you want to be kind to your client, I like to put my hand right around the scapula, give them a little gentle press, but be careful when you're doing facilitated stretching. Inhale, bend, and extend. You don't want to force anything. It's more like a dance of tactile cueing. You're just guiding. Really nice, Rachel. Really nice. So from here, I'm going to take the bar from her. I'm going to get it out of the way. I'm going to hold it diligently and get that safety strap out. When the safety strap comes around, you want to put that safety strap on first. Make sure that it's flat and straight. You don't want any kinks in it. And then bring that up and hook it onto the bottom loop. You always want the bottom loop on the Bassey Systems equipment. Some other equipment, you've got a very range of loops, but on Bassey Systems, you're going to be on the bottom one. So, right about the middle, when you bring your red short springs up, I like to do the clip to the outside so it doesn't catch clothing. This has a little tension on it, but it's not overly tensioned. It's definitely not slacked, okay? Make sure that coupler is all the way down. I put the clip towards the outside so your clothes can't get caught on it, and our push-through bar is set. So, I like to teach my client to get in here on their own. If you do this for the next 10 years, you could do some damage to your own personal body, so always protect your body. Rachel, go ahead and scoot down a little bit. Now here's another tip for you guys. Find the right position for footwork. If you're too far down and that sacrum is coming out of neutral, the pelvis is coming out of neutral, you're not in a good position. If you're too far up, pelvis is neutral, but they're not getting enough stretch, not in the right position. Go ahead and grab the bar, bring your feet on, heels parallel, a couple inches apart. You're good, you're good. You can go to your toes first. And I'm always here, just in case there's a little slip. And so for her, how's that feel? You need a little more stretch?
Yeah, maybe.
Just a little more stretch. She's got a nice neutral pelvis. Her legs are long. She's in dorsiflexion. She's not supinated, not pronated in the foot line. Toes are relaxed. But she's, I can tell she's not quite there yet. So go ahead and bend your knees. Grab a hold of the bar. Take your legs out. Be safe. Scoot down a little bit. Good. Put your toes back on. Work your way into your heels. Hands down by your side. And that looks a little bit better. I can tell she's got a little better stretch. Sacrum is down. Pelvis is as neutral as we can get. Feet are a nice dorsiflexion. Make sure your heel is right on the very edge of that bar. Right on the very edge. And once in a while, I'll come over here. I left my shoes on. And I'll just make sure that those feet are looking nice and flat, not supinated, not pronated, nice and flat with a relaxed toe. How you feeling there? Okay. Inhale, bend. I don't know how I'm going to get down now with my leg like this. There we go. Exhale, lengthen. Successful. Okay. Your range of motion on the Cadillac. This is one of the most important things I see people do. It's too deep. She's got a nice range while she's maintaining that neutral pelvic position. Watch the sacrum as she bends too deep. Boom. It comes out of neutral. This is not a big range of motion. It's a nice bend. Inhale. Exhale. Lengthen. Did we start with the knees bent or did we start with them straight?
Start with them straight.
Oh well. Start with them bent. And bend. Inhale. And exhale, lengthen. Again, about 8 to 12 repetitions, whatever you feel comfortable with. We bend. We stay here. We go to our toes. We're in a fairly plantar flex position, allowing a little bit of articulation through the ankle joint. Lengthen out. You're almost too deep on that one. Bend, inhale. Right about there. That's it. Exhale, lengthen. So we're in plantar flexion, but as we bend, there is a little bit of articulation. You want that ankle to move nice and freely. You're not just maximizing that plantar flexion throughout. She's got a nice shoulder line. Her head's nice and lengthened out long. She's nice and relaxed into the bar, into the mat. It's looking really good. Usually about 8 to 10 repetitions. We'll go ahead and bend and stop there. Think of the hip joint externally rotating to create that first position, to create that V position on the feet. Same ankle position. Press it out. I like to really emphasize that squeeze on the lengthen and bend. When you're moving through this repertoire, think of a flow. Think of a rhythm. You don't want to stop at the top. You don't want to stop at the bottom. There's no choppy movements. It's just like water flowing. You're constantly in a state of movement. You're constantly in a state of flow. Inhale, bend. Use that breath to create a rhythm for the motion, a rhythm for the movement. And inhale, bend. When you lengthen your legs out, reach your sacrum down a little bit more and give me a little more squeeze in those adductors. That's it. Inhale, bend. Don't neglect that length and that adduction, especially when you're in that V position. Now, bend, inhale. We hold it here. Because this bar is set at 24 and not 22, when she goes to her heels to the outside, she should be able to get to that dorsiflex position with the foot on the connecting bar a little more accessible. It's a little easier. And then press it out. For some of you who are really, really tight in your hamstrings, or you have inadequate, I don't want to say inadequate, that's a terrible word, keep going. Limited dorsiflexion. If you can't get the foot on the connecting bar to the outside here, just let the foot come to the inside, maybe bring the heels in slightly so you have that nice V position. And she's working a nice range of motion. She's got a nice flow, nice movement pattern, nice breath pattern. Shoulders look good. She's just kind of, feel like about halfway through your footwork, you just kind of start falling into your session. It really just starts to jive. It really feels good. Bend, inhale, and exhale, lengthen. Let's just say that's 10 to 12. Bend, inhale. Hold it there. Toes are going to go where your heels are, so it's open V toes now. Press it away. It's a nice, you got a really good ankle position. Inhale, bend. Nice plantar flexion without pointing too hard. Again, not rolling in or out on the ankle. All 5 toes are on the bar here. That little pinky toe's not really in the party. There you go. Just adjust your foot a little bit. There you go. Inhale, bend, exhale, lengthen. Reaching out to the backs of the legs. I like to really emphasize the hamstring work here. Really use those hip extensors to press out. You're going a little deep into plantar flexion. No, other way. There you go. That's nice. Hands are nice and flat. I'm always keeping good contact to my hands where they are in space, or I'm always watching my client's hands. Tense hands leads to tense shoulders. Tense shoulders will lead to a tense neck. You don't want any of that in your session. Go ahead and bend. Put your toes parallel. We're going to go into our calf raises. Lengthen the legs long. We get a nice straight leg here. We dorsiflex and plantar flex. Inhale, flex and point. Again, maximize your range of motion. It's so important on your feet to get that nice, beautiful, deep dorsiflexion, deep plantar flexion, again, without supinating or pronating, without rolling in or out on the ankle joint. Remember that plantar dorsiflexion comes from the ankle joint. The subtalar joint is where you'll get inversion, eversion, pronation, supination. So you want that nice and still and flat. I like to kick up my calf raises a little bit, 10 to 20 calf raises. And then we go into our prances. Bend, inhale, exhale, lengthen. Prances again, I see lots of people short on those prances. They're not getting full range of motion. It's up and down, full range, point and down, and up and stretch. Working through that ankle joint in full range of motion. Maximizing the up, maximizing the down. Let's say that's about 10. We bend our knees. Go ahead and grab the bar, take your legs out. we want to unload those springs before we change. So we're going to go into single leg footwork. Single leg heels, single leg toes. But before we do, we need to lighten the spring a little bit. So I actually take the spring off and lie it by the side, raise the cuff a little bit, and put it back on. It's just safe. It's just a safety measure. Take the spring off. Easy. All you do is grab that spring, give it a little pull, unhook it, and lie it down by the side. Adjust your cuff. Doesn't have to be perfect here. You don't have to have a perfect number. Just bring them up a few inches, taking a little bit of pressure off. If you yourself are doing the work and you feel it's too heavy, just readjust to a lighter weight. If you need a little bit more, add a little bit more. For some of my stronger clients, myself and some other stronger clients, sometimes I don't even take the pressure off. I just leave the same foot setting. So go ahead and put both feet back on. Go to your heels. Good. Find that neutral pelvis. Find that nice position in both ranges, not just anterior, posterior, but also laterally. And we're going to take the left leg down. Now, if you've got the flexibility for that, reach this leg all the way out. Don't let it externally rotate. Keep it in a neutral position. And as long as the pelvis is neutral and the body's good, you're good to go. Bend slightly. Hold it right about there. If you feel your pelvis is coming out of position or this is just too tight, when you lengthen and find your full range of motion, bend, inhale. Exhale, lengthen. You can soften the knee a little bit. Just give a little bit of a bend, and that'll take a little pressure off of that tight hamstring. But she's got plenty of range of motion here, so we can get that leg out long. Anytime I'm training here, I want to make sure that this hip, the hip that's on the leg, is not hiking up. So sometimes I've got to pull that hip down just a little bit to find the alignment of the pelvis. Oh, that felt good on my leg. And we bend, hold it there, and switch legs. Nicely done. Good dorsiflexion on the ankle joint. She reaches the leg out, not externally rotating. Sometimes people will kick out to the side here. Make sure it's coming in nice alignment with the rest of the body. And press it out. Bend, inhale. Very important to make sure you count when you're doing your single leg work, single leg heels, single leg toes, so you're even on either side. You know how many we did on the other side?
I didn't count.
I didn't count either. Don't rewind and count and see if I'm off. And let's just say 3 more. It's the Pilates instructor's, prerogative. Once they say 3 more, you know they lost count. Bend, inhale, and exhale, lengthen. Good. Go ahead and bend. Good. That just takes a little pressure off the springs. We bring the leg back up. We go to our toes. I like to make sure everything's square. No. Make sure everything's square. You put both toes on. Make sure your knees are square. Your hips are square. Everything looks good. Then take the leg out. Reach it out long. Now we go. Exhale. Inhale, bend. Let's flatten your hands out just a little bit and feel the shoulders open just a little bit. There you go. I will count this one. That's 3. Inhale, bend. Exhale, lengthen. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but she's just got a really subtle articulation as she moves through. It's not maximizing dorsiflexion or maximizing plantar. It's just a nice movement through the ankle joint. It's a free movement. It's an organic movement. Nicely done. And bend. Bring the other one up. If I was doing the intermediate footwork, I would go into hip opener after this, bend and extend, but I'm not. I'm just going to do a nice, solid, basic Cadillac workout today for you guys. And we'll stop after this last one. If you do decide to go into hip opener, you want to keep the same positioning of the body. Don't shift up or down. Roll to your side, grab a hold of that top bar, bottom arm is long. Keep the same weight that you've decided to use for your single leg work. And we'll do 2 more and that should be even. Does that sound about right? Good. Bend. Sounds good. And take your leg out. Again, I'm letting her do this. I've had to break the habit of moving the foot bar like this all the time for my client, and it can put a little damage on your shoulders, so be careful of that. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of break, and when we come back, we'll be set up for the abdominal block. We've done a warm-up block, footwork block. We're getting into the abdominal block next, okay? Hold tight. Okay, we're back. I have put everything back on this side of the machine. The push-through bar is down, the springs are down, the safety strap is back hooked up to the top, my couplers are back to their 0 position. I've got my trapeze up here. We're going to do bottom lift with the roll-up bar for our abdominal work today. And I like to start right around the midline, and then we can kind of adjust it from there. And I've taken my mid-crossbar up to around 28 or 30, just to give it a little bit more tension on the springs. She grabs a hold of the outside of the bar, wrap your thumbs, puts a little bit of tension on the springs, arms above the chest, and she takes her legs into the strap, not to the top of the trapeze, but into the strap that lies down below. Externally rotates and dorsiflexes to hold that strap. This does require a lot of external rotation. If you're challenged with that a little bit, you might have to adjust your feet a little bit. And this is okay, but there's a bit of a diagonal line here, so we're going to adjust that. Go ahead and take your feet out. I think your body's in a good position. Go ahead and scoot up just a hair. There you go. And what I'm going to do is move this back just a little bit, just so that we can get those springs to a little more perpendicular alignment. Put your feet up. There you go. Nicely done. Okay, that's a little bit better. A little bit of an angle is not going to be bad, but we had too much of an angle. So this is a simultaneous movement between a bottom lift and shoulder extension. Take a breath in to prepare. Make sure you're in a neutral pelvic position, neutral ribs, neutral shoulders, neutral head. As you exhale, deepen into that articulation. Really scoop those abdominals. As you press the bar down towards the thighs, you want to find this nice alignment, this nice diagonal line. Pause at the top, inhale. And as you exhale, that spine just melts down. The arms simultaneously drift up to your starting position. And again, make sure you come all the way back to neutral. A lot of people will stay in a posterior tilt to go into the next one. Get back to neutral pelvis. Inhale. Exhale. Hold, breathe in. Exhale, roll down. Good, that looks really nice, Rachel. Be sure when you tighten these upper crossbar nuts here, it's just a light snugging of the nut. You don't want to cram those. Any of these, you don't want to tighten them down too hard. If you tighten them down too hard, they could either strip or get locked, and then you've got a big problem. Exhale, roll your spine down. I absolutely love this exercise. This feels so good on the back. Great core work, nice hip extensor work. Let's do one more. Exhale, up. Pause. Don't let those ribs go. Give me a little more hip extension. Don't let those ribs go. There's where you want to be, right there. Breathe in and exhale down. Oh, your back took over on that one a little bit, didn't it? Yeah, she's got a very strong, because she was doing some ballroom dancing earlier, her back took over a little bit, and I can tell. We're going to put this down, so I'm going to leave the camera going so you can see what I'm going to do here. What we're going to do is take this trapeze off. We put it all the way back to our original position, which is back here. We're going to take that upper crossbar and we're going to get rid of it. Make sure you take that all the way back to its starting position. Boom. Okay? Get it out of the way. I'm going to take my yellow springs and roll-up bar off and put it to the back of the machine so it's out of the way, and my mid-crossbar comes up to about a quarter of the way down. So this is a quarter, this would be a half, this would be 3/4, this would be all the way to the bottom. And then we take our leg springs, our long springs, and we attach them here to the mid-crossbar. That's your setup. The cuffs on the mid-crossbar are pretty much all the way to the outside. Now, this is what I love. If you do have the F2, I want you to use your F2s. Bring it up, open it up, make sure you find the little notch, and come back one notch, okay? This is number 8. If you do not have the F2s, you want to have your arms straight. Very important, arms straight. So, lever position 8, 0 degrees with the handle. If she puts her hands on the uprights, the upper bars here, and straightens her arms out, that's where you would do it if you didn't have the F2. If you do have the F2, be sure to use it. You've got it. You paid for it. It's a great piece of equipment. So don't move the position that you set in. Just grab the F2s. And if you look at the position of the body, you've got 90-degree line of the elbow joint. It's a really nice stretch on the chest. If you're too tight in your pecs and your ribs are flaring, obviously you don't want to do that. But if you can manage that, this feels really good. We're going to put our feet in one at a time. One thing I love about the Bassi system straps, they might be making them for other companies now, but I don't think so. They've got this little coupler here, and it just kind of cinches those straps down, and boy, it feels so nice. Gives you a nice solid feel in those straps. We're in dorsiflexion, we're in tabletop, frog position, nice V position of the feet and legs, pelvis is in neutral, shoulders look good. How are you feeling? Awesome. Exhale. When you press out, you press straight across. Inhale, bend. So if I had a bar or a pole and I put the pole right here, you could see the feet come right along that pole line and right back. Inhale. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm always communicating with my client. I'm always communicating with my client. I want them to be able to give me feedback. I want to be able to give them cues. Every exercise has a threshold of way up here. Every exercise has such a beautiful excellence, but you can't get there without good communication, without proper cueing. It's one of our workshops, The Art of Cueing. It's a great workshop. I absolutely love teaching it. Look it up, find it in your area, or request it from one of your studio owners. We'll come out and teach it at your studio. You're dropping a little bit with the feet. There you go, right about there. As you come back, this is the alignment you want to have right there. There you go. Inhale, bend, and exhale, lengthen. We come straight up. Now, because of the position that the body is in, you should be able to get very close to 90 degrees of the hip joint, very close to perpendicular without those springs slacking. That's why you want that little bit of length down. Exhale, circles down. Inhale, up and around. Oh, nice. That was good. Little SI joint release, yeah. And good. We've got a nice little V position with the feet. The hips are comfortably externally rotated. We're not forcing external rotation. And we've got a really nice movement pattern here. If you're doing your circles here and or on the reformer, think of a constant movement. You want to think of that carriage moving freely. It's not up, together, down. I see that a lot. People are making a D shape. So here's the bottom of the D, and then here's the flat part of the D. That's not it. You're actually making two Ds, one on either side. So it really is more of a circle than it is a Teutonic movement. And we'll go ahead and make this our last one. Reverse out, down and around again. You're making a nice circle with the legs. Come up the center line. It's not out, down and around, and up. It's two Ds around, out, and down. Good. Breath is really nice. She inhales up, out, exhales down and around. I love the way that breath is creating a rhythm for the movement. If you're breathing too fast, you're probably moving too fast. If you're moving 10 moves in one breath, you're probably moving too slow. Good. And this isn't about huge width. You want pelvic lumbar stability. You want a nice stretch. You want the hips to feel good. But you're not maximizing that out where you may start to go into posterior anterior of the pelvis. We come up to the top. That is an external rotation. Now we go to parallel. And we do our walks, boom, boom, boom. It's just a nice little flutter down and a nice little flutter up. If you want to get super technical on this, maybe a 10 count down, and inhale, 10 up. But you don't have to get super technical. Just move with your breath. Move with your breath. And move with your breath as you come up. Very nice. Rachel, you're making that look really good. Nice stability. You can see nice stability in the core, nice stability in the pelvis, good movement through those hip extensors, good eccentric control through the hip flexors. Really nice. And from the top, we're going to go into our forward bicycle. Now, this one can be very challenging. If it's the first time for you or the first time for your client, just know that you may get a little angry at each other. It's okay. Find your movement, find your rhythm, and work with it. Practice this exercise. It is not going to be perfect the first time. We want to extend the hip down. We want to bring that leg in as we simultaneously bring the other leg in. Stop with the knee above the hip joint. Bring this leg all the way to the ground as the other leg reaches up to the ceiling. There's a lot there, isn't there? Right? Tough to keep that knee over the hip joint. Don't let it bend beyond. You can go a little bit, but not too much. So this leg bends, this leg comes down, and hit your line. Boom, bend, this leg comes down, this leg comes up, and hit your L. You're creating this L shape in each movement pattern. And you're using the hip extensor to stabilize the leg in the up position. It's actually a co-contraction between hip flexor and hip extensor. And exhale. That spring is just to the outside of the knee. I've seen a lot of people kick their knees outside of the spring. If you're outside the spring, you're in external rotation. And we hold it here, we reverse, we bend, keeping that knee there, so the knee flexor has to work, and we reach, bend, and we reach, bend, and we reach, bend, and we reach. That's okay, that's okay, I saw it. I don't know if you saw it on the camera, but she cheated a little bit on that one, that's okay. We'll let her get away with it because she's making it look so good. Both legs up, and we take those little strap locks off, we take the feet out, and beautiful job, nicely done. Be sure to take your arms out slowly, whether they're above your head or they're in the F2s. It is a little stretch on the pec and shoulder, so take them out slowly. Don't just whip them out. You don't want to do any damage on your shoulders. Now watch, I'm putting my springs back to their little home. This is the springs home. You want them back. Go home, little springs. I want my roll-up bar and short yellows back to their home. I want to take this right back to 22. Okay, we're going to bring Rachel to the other side. We're going to go into the next block, which is spinal articulation. We're going to do tower prep. Okay, so bring your head to this side. I bring my push-through bar up. I grab my safety strap. I make sure that my safety strap is not locked in to my trapeze. That's the only problem with putting the trapeze over there. And then I make sure this is nice and straight, it's flat, it's not twisted. And I bring this up to the bottom loop. Now we're going to take a little bit of weight off so we don't put too much undue pressure on the back. And then we put our short red springs on, which should be living down here anyways. They have no business going anywhere else. Now, if you've got other equipment, we don't have these couplers on other equipment, so you may have to vary the springs, change a blue to a red, use different spring combinations to get the weight that you want. But the beauty of Basse systems is you just adjust the couplers. The springs don't have to move, they stay right where they are. I just love that. Okay, hands on the uprights, arms straight. You want to straighten those arms out. Really get some good energy pressing in. A lot of my clients, they say they like to pull, they like to bend and pull a little bit because it gives them more leverage. Don't do that. You want to press into those bars. We take our feet up. You can use one hand to bring your feet in. And go right to the toes, right here, right at that little toe canyon right here, not on the tip of the toes, not on the ball of the foot, but right in between. So those toes are right there. Sacrum is down as far as you can, similar to short spine. If you're tight in your hamstrings, those hip might come up a little bit, back might arch a little bit. That's okay, don't worry about that. But she looks really good. She's got a nice position here. Straighten the legs out as much as you can. Plantar flexed feet, nice long arms, head and neck in good alignment. She's looking really good. A little tricky here. It's a simultaneous bend of the knees as you articulate up into position, keeping energy into your hip extensors. So we, inhale to prepare. As you exhale, soften your knees, lift the hips, and you come up to a position where you try to hit this 90-degree angle of the knee joint. You need to plantar flex a little more. There you go. And the hips are rolling up to a nice aligned position upright. Pause, inhale. As you exhale, the spine lengthens out, the legs simultaneously lengthen with the spine articulating down. It feels amazing when done right. I absolutely love it. Inhale, flex and point. One inhale to flex and point. Exhale, soften your knees, lift up. She's doing a great job keeping the energy right here in her hip extensors. We can go a little bit further here. That's it. And a little bit longer there. That's it right there. Pause. No movement. Inhale. Exhale, let that spine roll out each vertebra one at a time. As the legs lengthen, maintaining plantar flexion of the ankle joint. Once the sacrum is down as far as you can get it, inhale, flex and point. Exhale, scoop and lift. I like to do anywhere from 5 to 8 of these. One of my favorite spinal articulation exercises. Inhale, pause, exhale down. See that 90-degree line? That 90 degrees starts to open up as the spine rolls out. We've still got nice long arms. We're looking great. Let's do one more. Inhale, flex and point. Exhale, soften the knees, up you go. That was a beautiful one, Rachel. Pause, inhale, exhale down. And looking in the mirror, it's looking good. I'm happy. Straighten, 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 straighten. Reach the tailbone out, reach the sacrum out. Inhale, flex and point. And bend your knees, grab the bar, come on out. Really nicely done. Awesome job. The next block is the stretch block. And I really like to do hamstring hip flexor stretch. So instead of jumping over to the reformer, I'm going to show you kind of a fun modified lunge kneeling we can do here on the Cadillac, okay? So go ahead and come off of there. I'm going to take my couplers back to 0. Take those springs down to the bottom. Again, I'm putting everything back. Put everything back the way you found it. I'm going to take the safety strap off, push through bar goes down, safety strap comes to the back of the machine. Everything is back the way I found it. Okay? So we're going to go to our knees about here. We're going to grab a hold of the bars around here. No need to move anything, no need to adjust anything, no springs needed. We're going to take our right foot and put it on the push-through bar, right around the toe canyon. Okay? And this is a nice position. Try to keep that push-through bar in line with the uprights as you push towards a hip flexor stretch. Keep your arms a little straighter. There you go. So you're just pushing your pelvis forward. Once we start to feel that stretch, we gently biased towards posterior. You're not going to get to posterior, obviously. This is an anterior to the pelvis, but you're biasing towards it. We hold it for 3 to 5 breaths. This beautiful posture that we've created, it stays. And we just lengthen to a little hamstring stretch. Only go out as far as you can go. She's got good flexibility, so she can maintain that position. Take this hip down a little bit. There you go. I know. It doesn't take much, just a couple degrees in one direction or the other, and you can really deepen into that stretch. We inhale, exhale. That's 3 to 5. Bend the knee. Use your knee flexor to pull that bar back to the alignment of the uprights. And we just do it again, just like we would on the reformer. Breathe in and out. Nice, holding this postural alignment. Let's take our hands down just a tad, just so they're not above the shoulder line. And straighten the elbows out. There you go. Ribs in. There you go. And go to your hamstring stretch. Nice, Rachel. Nice, Rachel. Just take this hip down a little bit. There, she doesn't like when I do that. You can hear, I don't know if you can hear on the mic, she's groaning, growling a little bit. Nicely done. Breathe in, breathe out. Whoa, I just love this alignment. I love seeing lines like this. When you're working out, try to create the lines that you know are making energy lines. Solid energy lines. Bend, use your knee flexor to come back, take this foot down, match your knees when you change. You don't want to be too far forward or back or adjust that because you can adjust your stretch. Take this leg up. Good. That's a little tight on that side, huh? Yeah. Push that pelvis forward a little more. Keep this bar back. There you go. You're actually actively using that knee flexor a little bit to pull the bar back. There you go. Now bias to posterior. There you go. Again, you're not going to see much when you say bias to posterior. It's not like you're going to see this big pelvic movement here. You're just using the same muscle groups to pull the pubic bone up a little bit and elongate that hip flexor. We go to the hamstring stretch by lengthening out. Excellent. Breathe in, breathe out. This is a good position for you. Nice alignment of the head. Beautiful shoulder scapula stabilization. I think I was probably a little conservative for Rachel. I probably should have moved her back a little bit, just so this angle of the thigh, the down leg, is a little further back. We could have given her a little more stretch, but we'll be conservative today. This is a basic class. We want to feel good. We don't have to push our limit every single time. And come back to your hip flexor stretch. Yep, there you go. Nice job, good alignment. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Nice deep breaths. And we go to our hamstring stretch. Okay, for those of you who are Bassi students, Bassi Pilates students, this is not in the curriculum. This is not in your test out. Or I should say it's not in your curriculum, so don't do it in your test out. Don't do anything that's not in your books, that's not in your study guide, that you see in videos, whether they're my videos, whether they're somebody else's videos. Just do what you learned in the course in your examination, and we come back. Good. Go ahead and have a seat. Nice job. The next block is our full body integration 1 block. I'm going to take the push through bar up. I'm going to have Rachel sit, and we're going to do sitting forward. I love this exercise. It's so very technical. It's one of the more technical exercises, but it's just a great movement exercise. Anytime, this is a little trick. It's a small trick. I don't know if it's a technical trick, but anytime you do an exercise with the letter S in it, S, sitting forward, side reach, saw, we're going to take these couplers, go ahead and let go, and we're going to take them down just a little bit. We're going to take some pressure off of the top loaded push through bar. Make sure they're around the same. They don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exact, but we're just going to come down a few inches to take a little pressure off. Now, before I noticed she set up just beautifully, but what I want you to do is notice the setup. Have your client sit up straight. Have them dorsiflex and press the feet against that bar so they've got a nice connection here with the toe just biasing towards the outside of the bar, so when that bar comes through, it doesn't hit the toe. Once you've created this nice postural alignment, don't lean forward, don't lean back, just bring your hands up to the bar and wrap your thumbs, okay? Shoulder width apart. I know you cheat on that a lot. It's a bad habit. Even this one can come in a little bit. There you go. And there's your starting position. Shouldn't be pushing forward. You shouldn't be leaning back. You start with this beautiful upright position. Take a breath in. As you exhale, you want to think of pushing the pubic bone under you. It's like that cat stretch in the mat work. It's going into lumbar flexion. The rest of the back adapts to the flexion of that lumbar, that push of the pubic bone forward. The lats push down, the abdominals do the work to get the bar right here in line with the upright. Don't go too far forward, don't go too far back, depending on your flexibility. If you're not flexible to get this far forward, you might be back a little bit. That's okay. From here, we extend that upper thoracic spine. Get as flat as you can. Don't you move that bar though. Don't you move that bar. There you go. Cheater, cheater. And then as you exhale, you re-round the lumbar. Use your lats and abs to control the bar up and back to your starting position. If you're too heavy on this, that bar is going to whip up. Doesn't feel very good. So make sure you adjust your weight accordingly. Exhale into flexion. I really like the way you can see she's almost pushing the pubic bone towards her feet as she goes into that lumbar flexion. You don't have to stop there. You keep going through. Get the bar in line with the upright. Inhale, extend, keeping that bar nice and still. This bar right here, keep it nice and still. And then exhale, re-round the lumbar, keeping that shoulder scapula stabilization. Control the bar eccentrically up and back to your upright position. Let's do it again. Exhale and just roll through, no stopping. Good. We're going to fix one thing on her, but we're looking good. Inhale, extend, not so much in the head. Exhale, re-round. I don't know if you noticed or not on the last one, but she's motorcycling. She's riding a motorcycle. So her wrists are all over the place. I want you to lighten your grip a little bit. If you have too tight of a grip, you'll have a tendency to get stuck in one position or the other, flexion or extension of the wrist. If you lighten the grip a little bit, watch what happens. Exhale into flexion, down and through. No. Oh. There you go. There you go. Nope. There you go. That's it right there. Inhale, extend. Exhale, roll through. We got to do one more for. Look at those wrists now. Whoa, those are beautiful. One more. So think about that. I'm not going to cue you. You're on your own. No, let's do it again. So that one came from her back. I don't know if you saw that or not, but she kind of punched into her back on that one. It did not come from the pubic bone. Did not come from posterior. And exhale. There it is. Nicely done. Through. Look at the wrists. I love it. Inhale, extend. And exhale. Look at the wrists. Look at the wrists. Oh, little flexion, but not bad. Nicely done. Go ahead and let go of that. So, watch for all those little nuances when you're doing this work. Anytime you're working with yourself or with somebody else, you're videotaping yourself. It's a great way to see and self-correct. Take your phone, set it up so you can videotape yourself. Put your phone right next to Bassi Interactive with the same exercise. Look at the hands, look at the pelvis, look at the head, look at all those little nuances and make those corrections accordingly. We're going to go into our arm work, which is the standing arm work. I love the standing arm work, but we've got to adjust the Cadillac, so we'll be right back. Okay, we're back to do the arm work block, the standing arm series. You're going to take your roll-up bar and your roll-up bar springs, the short yellows, and put them to the outside of the Cadillac. In case you haven't noticed, I moved the Cadillac back so you can see us a little bit better. We're going to take, go ahead and do that one for me, Rachel. We're going to take this roll-up bar off. We're going to take our handles onto the short yellow spring, and then all you do is loop the handle through the loop like that, and it just cinches, and it's really nice. It doesn't make any noise like those carabiners will make. They're very nice and subtle. You want to adjust your mid-crossbar here to eye level of yourself or the client. So come over here, Rachel. Good, right about there. Looks good, yeah? Mm-hmm. Good. And again, don't crank on these. Don't hit them real hard. Just give them a little light, snug, but make sure that the bar is not going anywhere. Okay, you want it snug, but snug enough so the bar doesn't go anywhere. 2 yellow shorts, handles are on. We set up so as we're centered here, our arms put a little tension on the springs, and we're about 20 degrees in front of our hips. It's chest expansion to start. You push back about 20 degrees behind your hips and forward. So I can tell that's a little tight for her. She's internally rotating the shoulder a little bit, softening the elbows. She's just struggling. It starts to look like this, right? So we'll step her forward a little bit, take a little bit of pressure off of the spring, start about there. Internally rotate slightly. You have a tendency to externally rotate. That's that shoulder that's bugging you. Okay, and long fingers, and exhale, drag your fingers back. Good. You can make a fist or you can go fingers. I personally like long fingers, fingers together. It's not that we're super specific about that's the way Bassi has to do it. It's actually safer and it's more technically sound that it actually creates more length. So when those fingers are together, you're creating more length through the arms. Inhale, exhale. And every time I come back to my starting position, Rachel, reestablish that nice straight elbow, reestablish the tricep. So you know that the tricep is staying active as you expand the chest and that posterior region. Otherwise, we start ending up here with our elbows, and then the shoulders start to internally rotate. Nice, very nice. Now, we flip our bodies around, face the other direction. I'm going to check to make sure that she's centered. Feet are parallel, a couple inches apart. We want to put a little tension on the spring, and you want to give those springs a good leaning into. So you're actually leaning into those springs like a ski jumper on the end of those big ski jumps. You're really using those springs to keep that position of the body. Get a little more into it. Pull your abs in a little bit. There you go. And exhale, hug a tree. Inhale. Palms are facing one another. Make sure you come through just a shoulder width apart. Don't let your shoulders internally rotate to get your hands closer. Exhale. If you need to, you can soften the elbow just a little bit. Just micro bend the elbow if you're feeling undue pressure on the elbow joint. You can do it anyways just to protect the elbow. Get those fingers together. There you go. Stay there, face your palms down, reach your arms up. Maximize that range of motion up without over elevation of the shoulder joint. Go out to a T position and back to your hug a tree position. This is circles up. Inhale. Out. Nice range, Rachel. Exhale. As people start to fatigue, you'll see the back here starting to sway, starting to arch a little bit. The multifidus, the lower back extensor muscles start to become overactive. We'll lose the abdominals, so make sure you, if you have to, bias slightly towards posterior, but make sure you maintain that neutral pelvic position. And out, and together, and we reverse out to the T, up above the head. We do our circles down. Ophi's going to be really mad at me because I can't remember where we transitioned from up circles to down circles. I think you're supposed to stop in the T position to transition, so make a note of that. And exhale. And breathe in. I love the way she's rotating that radius and ulna. Make sure you come down, rotate and open, and reach up and down and rotate and open. Nice seamless movement. We make a fist here. We bring our fists back towards our eye line. We punch our right, keeping the elbow high, simultaneously switch. It's an exhale for 2 and an inhale for 2. Very challenging to keep that torso from swaying, from rotating. Very challenging to keep that shoulder scapula stabilization. Do not let those scapulas elevate or rise. And exhale and inhale. And exhale and inhale and down with your arms. Take one large step forward. The arms will just drift behind you. Keep the humerus at a diagonal line behind you and bend in towards your rib cage. Exhale and inhale. Are you leaning into those springs? No. That's it. Lean into those springs. There you go. Same thing. You want to stay leaned into those springs. And boom. How's that weight feel? Not too much? Exhale and inhale. Look at the alignment of the head, the shoulder scapula stabilization, the trunk stabilization, neutral pelvis, nice straight legs. Everything's looking really good here. I love to transition right into our additional leg work. Good. Flip your body around. So we go right into squats. I love squats. One of my favorite. Arms are out in front of you. When your arms are out in front of you, you can step back a little bit. The springs will be a little slack. That's okay. You want to keep those elbows as if they're on top of a shelf. Give it a little grip, and as you bicep curl, you'll have a little bit of tension on the springs, the elbows at 90 degrees, shoulders are not elevating or shrugging. We keep that position of the body nice and flat as if you're bending and sliding down a flat wall. Inhale, bend, and exhale up. Whoa, good range. Nice job. Inhale, bend, and exhale up. Good. At the top, don't move. Just bias to posterior slight. There you go. Now try to keep that position as you go down. Don't lean back. There you go. There you go. Now tuck your tail slightly. That's it. And up you go. You want to keep that back nice and flat, nice and neutral, as if, again, you're sliding down a flat wall. And up you go. Nice grounding of your feet, Rachel. Elbows up a little bit. Inhale, bend. Exhale, up. Inhale, bend. About 8 to 10 repetitions on this one, and we release the arms. Oh, she's got a little sweat going. She's got a little sweat going. Again, I'll let you take this one. Put everything back. We take those handles off. It's just good safety practice. We put them away. We grab our roll-up bar. I'll give you this end. You take that end. I'll take this end. We put it back on the clips. We put the roll-up bar back. We go back to 22, and everything looks good, just as we started. So we'll be right back to finish off with some lateral flexion rotation, back extension. We're done. Okay, we're back. We're goofing off a little bit while we're switching the machine back. Rachel did point something out. I did not put the machine back the way I was supposed to. What did we leave? We left the F2s. This is actually a big faux pas. You go ahead and do that one, I'll do this one. Because with those F2 handles sticking out like that, I can't tell you how many times somebody's left them out and they've caught my thigh. It does not feel good. It just crams into your quadricep and gives you a big knot right there. It does not feel good at all. So go ahead and take that F2 out, and we're going to take this foot strap down. That should just slide nice and easy. We're going into side lift with push-through bar. So go ahead and line your side facing that direction. I'm going to take the push-through bar up. I've got the couplers down just a little bit to take a little bit of pressure off. She probably doesn't. You know what? I'm going to leave him. I'm going to leave him. You don't need him down. You don't need him down. You're strong. And it gives you a little bit of extra support. Okay. You want to make sure that your client is situated, lengthen your legs long, or you, so that when your arm is long here, this bottom hand is kind of in line with these two uprights. That way you know when both arms are over your head, this bar is going to be in line with the upright, okay? I've got the bar. You want your legs underneath the strap, fairly close together with your top leg in front of your bottom leg. And this should have a little bit of tension on it, but shouldn't be cranking you down too hard. It should just be able to hold you. Very important, legs stacked, hips stacked, ribs, shoulders, head. Find that beautiful alignment that really facilitates a good movement pattern on this exercise. We're going to take the bar. You're going to wrap your thumb around midline, push through. I'm going to hold the bar here. This is very important. Stay away from this bar, okay? I'm back away from it. If for some reason she let go, it's not going to flip up and hit me. I ask her, do you have the bar? Yep. Are you sure you have the bar? I usually go over that a couple times to make sure they've got a good grip on this bar. Okay, you good? Yep. All right. I'm going to help you. I've got the bar. Scoot up just a hair. That's good. That looks good. Drop your hips back a little bit and pull your ribs in. Nice job. So here's a beautiful alignment. We want to stay in that alignment. Don't let the torso rotate forward or back. You don't want to get in the QL at all. So with control, we bend the bar on the first one. I'm going to give her a little help to make sure she's in control of that bar. And the arm goes straight. As she exhales, she lifts up. We try to bring those hands close to one another. We inhale down. That's your lateral flexion. Exhale, bend and extend. I'm just guiding her. I'm not helping her. I'm just kind of giving her a little bit of support to make sure I know she's in control of this bar. Get that hip forward a little bit and down and bend and extend. That's really nice. Stay there for a moment. One of the places I like to spot on this, if you are teaching this exercise, is I'll sit back here and my waist, my rib cage can kind of guide the hips to make sure they don't go forward or back. And then I can make some pertinent corrections and cues in the upper body and midsection. Inhale, bend. Keep the ribs in as you exhale up. Find that lateral alignment. Inhale down. I love this. Nice little micro bend on the elbow. Exhale, bend and extend. I can cue the scapula. I can cue the ribs. I can do a lot while sitting in this position. But she's looking good, so I'm going to break away from her. We do one more. Nice, Rachel. And let go and switch sides. Hips roll back a little bit on that one, but we're okay. Make sure you flip over and find the same positioning, so you're in the same position there. That looks really nice. Top leg is in front of the bottom leg. We grab the bar, we push through, we hold here. Got it? So on this side, you're arching a little bit. So I'm going to let go of this. You got the bar?
Yeah.
I want you just to move your hip forward slightly and then just bias to posterior right there. That looks good. Inhale, bend. Exhale up, we keep the pelvis still, we laterally flex the spine, we inhale down, we exhale, bend and extend. This is by no means a basic exercise, by the way. This is a higher level exercise. So I know I said I was going to do kind of a basic Cadillac workout today. This is a tough one. Inhale down. I threw in a little spice. It's like if I was on a cooking channel, I threw a little spice into the meal. Inhale, bend. Extend, exhale up, inhale down, nice, keeping that arm strong and long, bend and extend, we do one more, inhale, bend, keeping that shoulder scapula stabilization, we exhale up into lateral flexion, only go as high as you feel comfortable. If you can get those hands to touch, go ahead, but otherwise you can keep the arm long. Just don't want to roll forward or back. I've got the bar. Take your legs out of here. I'm going to take this strap and I'm going to move it back out of the way, putting everything back where I found it. She's going to roll to her prone position, her tummy, and scoot back a bit. Okay, I'm going to bring the bar down. We are still loaded up. If I wanted to go into prone 2, I could, but we're just going to do prone 1 today. Scoot up just a little bit. When your arms a little bit more. Good. When your arms are straight, you want that push-through bar in line with the uprights. Again, you can do prone 1 without the springs not needed if you're not going to go into prone 2 or the legacy work prone 3. Okay, what I like to do is make sure the body's centered. The push-through bar is in line with the uprights. We've got the short blues from the top loaded. No need for the safety strap when you're top loaded. I like to glide the scapula up a little bit and then glide the scapula down a little bit. Give the client the sensation of what that scapula can do, what a gliding joint can do. This is a gliding joint, so you want to be able to kind of connect to that joint. Once we pull the scapula down into a neutral position, we emphasize and encourage that shoulder scapula stabilization as the head starts to the articulation up. We come just to around the base of the rib, and then we exhale down. Legs are nice and long, they're active, but they're not extended. We inhale. Nope. I don't know if you noticed or not, but that came from here. Think of reverse articulation. Cervical, thoracic, lumbar. Same thing coming down. Lumbar, thoracic, cervical. Inhale up. Nice, Rachel. Exhale down. That's a little too high. She's got a nice back extension, so she's milking it a little bit. Inhale up. You just want to come around to the base of the rib. A little more. A little more. There. You feel that? Exhale down. Which could actually emphasize a little more thoracic extension, not going into the lumbar too much. Lovely. Lovely. We're going to do one more. I just don't want the head to come back too far. Don't kink your head back too far. Yep. Now keep it in line with the spine as you come up. There you go. And exhale down. Okay. I've got the bar. Go ahead and push into rest position. I'm going to control the bar up. I'd encourage you to bring the bar up very carefully if you're coming out of a spring-loaded, top-loaded bar. Always follow up with some nice flexion. Inhale to prepare. Exhale deeper into that stretch. Let that spine kind of flex just after you've done your extension work. I'm going to take my push-through bar and I'm going to put it back where I found it. This is good, this is good, this is good, springs are good, everything's where I found it. Hey guys, thanks again for joining me. I certainly hope you know how much I appreciate your support. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. Before you go, smash that like button and hit subscribe to become a part of the Pilates Life channel. Thanks again, be kind, and have a great day.